There was a question today in the Late Kick inbox that was so important, I felt like we needed to get to it right here. And it has to do with a major name that entered the transfer portal today. I think a lot of you probably aren't aware of this. A lot of you have lives to live and you're not following Pac-12 football probably very closely, and especially in the transfer portal this time of year. That's why we're here. So first, let me show you the tweet. This is from James. He says, what are your thoughts on Arizona State QB Jayden Daniels entering the transfer portal? Now, knowing our audience, like I think I do, a lot of you already know who Jayden Daniels is. And then there's another portion that said, Jayden Daniels, I know that name. Where do I know that name from? Well, you know his name because he started as a true freshman at Arizona State. Didn't do a whole lot to write home about this past year. Neither did the program. In fact, the program is in tatters. We will talk more about that momentarily. But here's what we know. Okay, so there's the tweet. Here's what we know. SunDevilSource.com, which is the 24/7 Arizona State site, they reported earlier today we expect him being Jayden Daniels, to be in the portal by the end of the day. Chris Hummer and company, they have since confirmed he is in the transfer portal. People close to him, this again, according to SunDevilSource.com, people close to Jayden Daniels had been shopping his name kind of quietly, although I can tell you confidently some people in the industry knew about this, but they had been shopping his name around to various Power 5 schools, including multiple Pac-12 schools, to try and gauge the interest. Let's see what the market's like out there. You should also know, or remember rather, that on December 2nd, which is my mom's birthday, which is probably why we were all distracted, you may have missed that Jayden Daniels posted a video saying, I'm going to be here, I'm staying, I'm coming back this year. And that was, all of 2 months ago, but so much has changed since then because there's all kinds of turnover, the worst kind. Even more bad than turning it over in a football game is the kind of turnover going on behind the scenes at Arizona State. Remember what it was like in August? Remember when all of that mess was going on? And I think we did 3 or 4 shows in a row where we did a segment on Arizona State, and it was all revolving around whether Herm Edwards and his staff were going to be shown the door. And it didn't happen immediately. It slowly started to happen one by one now, but Herm Edwards still has his job, at least as of tonight. I've had multiple coaches, actual coaches, ask me, hey, what's happening with Herm? Which stands to reason there's just as big a question mark over some folks in the coaching community as there has been for a while amongst us here in whatever community you want to call this. I think we have our own little community over here. People are dumbfounded how Herm still has his job. Most folks love Herm Edwards as a dude, up to and including us. But there were some heavy allegations that were thrown towards Arizona State. And the reason why you know there's validity is because multiple staffers have lost their jobs. Like everyone in the orbit is gone, but the center of that universe still there. Well, Jayden Daniels has observed all that. Also, Paul Tyson, who was a backup quarterback at Alabama, he's transferred in. And so all that's been happening sort of off the national radar. I mean, we had the playoffs and bowl season, title game, Christmas, New Year's. So a lot of this has been happening sort of over here on a side stage. Well, now it's thrust back into the forefront because it's a little bit quieter and it's February. And now we got a big name late in transfer portal season that has entered the portal. He is attempting to portal, which is now a verb, as we have concluded. What kind of player is Jayden Daniels? A lot of you out there may be in the market for a quarterback, so what kind of player is Jayden Daniels? Well, I will tell you that there is a sharp divide on the answer to that question. There are some out there whose opinions that you would probably trust if you knew who I was talking about, who would tell you he is an overrated player. The game does not match the reputation maybe that's out there about him. And they would also tell you that while he does have some elite upside about him and some elite traits maybe about him, the risk does not match the reward that makes it worth it to pursue him. That's one camp. I want to quickly follow it up with what another camp of very reputable people would tell you. They would listen to camp one and then they would retort with, how could you possibly know what this kid's capable of? At what part of Arizona State football has been conducive to producing the best in someone and to squeezing out every ounce of potential from a quarterback or a player in general? They would tell you, if this guy lands in the right spot, he will explode this upcoming year. Obviously, Jayden Daniels may think that, but there are some people out there with opinions I would trust and lean on that believe that too. So there's a sharp divide on what kind of player he is. But I do want to make mention of something. If you've been following this story today, you probably have already seen this. We're not going to show you the video, but remember the old who was it? Yeah, it was Bo Callahan. The old Bo Callahan protocol from the movie Draft Day, where Kevin Costner, the entire future of the Cleveland Browns franchise is riding on who they're going to draft #1 overall. And it's Khalil Mack no matter what. I mean, as it turns out, spoiler alert. But Bo Callahan is the big-time quarterback, and he calls Bo Callahan and it's draft day, and he says, Bo, why didn't your teammates come to your birthday party? Because that is what the research had told Kevin Costner was the red flag. Bo Callahan's friends and his teammates didn't come to his birthday party. Uh-oh. Well, I'm perusing the internet as I'm getting ready for the show, and there is a video that has been publicized from some of the players in the Arizona State locker room who have taken it upon themselves to clean out Jayden Daniels' locker. How should I put this? They didn't seem very somber in nature as they cleaned his locker out. So, what am I to make of that? I don't know. We can conclude definitively from that there were more than a few players in said locker room that weren't exactly heartbroken to see Jayden Daniels go. Could be sour grapes, could be that there was some friction behind the scenes, could be whatever you want it to be at this point. It really depends on how much stock you put in the Bo Callahan protocol. We move on. Where's he going to go? That's what everyone wants to know. There's some UCLA buzz. We don't know how long this process is going to take. It's unlike when you go into the portal in December and hey, I can drag this out into January. I can pull a Caleb Williams. I could seemingly string folks along. I don't really know if that's what Caleb Williams did, but I sure felt strung along. Man, it was a tense few weeks for us. But that's then. This is now. Teams are getting ready for spring practice. So you got to get something figured out pretty quick. And it stands to reason if behind the scenes they were shopping him already, and by shopping I just mean doing their due diligence and finding out where there may be an opportunity, they probably got it narrowed down. They're probably well ahead of the curve, and we're just now finding out about it. But there you go. How about that? Jayden Daniels in the transfer portal today, and we will keep you updated on the very latest.